What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing another video. I actually already did this review, part of it, but there was an interruption. So I wanted to basically do episode 18's review because sadly 18 and 19 I haven't been able to do reviews for, and I know it's already been more than a week. It's been like 2 weeks now since episode 18, but I want to keep you guys up to date, and I know that this will probably not get as many views as previous ones have, and also due to the whole entire fact that a lot of the episodes recently in the show itself and just in general haven't been doing as well. I wanted to even still, for those people that are curious, get a chance to have a review up on this channel, and just in general I wanted to have a review up. So episode 18 is known as Deep Down Under. This episode lets us see the plesiosaur. So the episode starts off with Sledge talking to Fury and how he wants to gain the plesiosaur before the Rangers do, and so that he can control it and take advantage of it, rather than because they had that whole debacle with Ivan, and how like they wanted to get the gold energem and all that, and how it was like a huge ordeal. So the thing is that Sledge reanimates Meteor, who had died, who had been destroyed previously, and so he's brought back, and Fury and Meteor are supposed to go down and deal with getting the plesiosaur. In the meantime, the Rangers are on Earth. They're looking for the plesiosaur as well, and they're supposed to meet this scientist known as Dr. Runga. Now, if you're curious, Dr. Runga is apparently this person who is the reason why Shelby is interested in fossils and dinosaurs and all that. Because you may wonder, like, she seems like a pretty innocent, pretty sweet person, that definitely has a tough side to her, but there's not enough so far explaining her reasoning for being interested in dinosaurs. And that's something that I love that they did, because typically when they go into explaining an interest of a character in most of these shows, they don't really go that deep. It's one of the biggest complaints I typically have with the show, is that they don't really go into too much detail. And so as a result, it's kind of frustrating, because it's nice to explore as much as you can of a activity or aspect of a character, and it's nice that they incorporate this into the story, because it shows that they actually care. It shows that they actually want the viewers to get a sense of things, and understand these characters better. So I applaud them for this. So anyway, let me off from this tangent. Let me explain things. They meet the doctor, who the person that's known as Dr. Rana, and he's pretty much not very happy with his job. He's considered this minor scientist, even though he is pretty significant, but his work is not appreciated by most people, and he's looked at poorly. So he himself doesn't feel like he's anything special, and he more or less so could care less about when the Rangers talk to him, though Shelby's a big fan. So they speak to him, and they ask him about the plesiosaurus and like where they might be able to find it, and he mentions like how they're known as Tonifas, which are like these mythical creatures that apparently only show up at beaches, coves, and coastlines, and they're typically pretty rare. And so he kind of looks at them odd, because it's like, what, you expect to find a plesiosaurus, which is a dinosaur that's pretty much extinct now? And so he kind of looks at them like, okay, like, you guys are pretty nutty. So he just kind of lets them be after that, and they decide to go after the plesiosaurus, and in doing so, they split up, they go to different areas, and they search for it, and eventually Shelby and Tyler spot the plesiosaurus. So Shelby takes a picture of it. At that point, Meteor and Fury come in to interact with the Rangers and fight them. And what happens is that 4 of them morph, and then the 4 Rangers that aren't Shelby and Tyler morph, and then they morph later. And then the Rangers run into a battle against some Vivixes and Meteor as well, and there's some special attacks that are shown off, and Dinosaur mode is used to fight Meteor. And then following this, Ivan and Fury have another intense battle, because it seems that they're really trying to hype those intense battles up, which is cool. So that all happens, and it's pretty good. And following this, what happens is that Fury makes a doctor help him find the plesiosaurus. And so what happens is that he threatens that, like, if you, like, he it makes him do it because, you know, he's a monster, first of all, Fury. And the other thing is that he mentions the fact that if you help me, you'll become famous because you'll be able to, you know, you'll have these pictures of these dinosaurs, and you'll be able to become this known person. So he's definitely intrigued, and he's interested in all that. And he's ready to do it, and he's ready to listen. So as a result, the doctor begins to talk to Shelby and checks to see if they had actually found something, because apparently he was told by Fury that Shelby had found something. So he goes to look at her phone, and he plays like this trick on her where he says, like, can you go get a pen or something like that, and then she runs off to find a pen, and then in the meantime he gets a picture, sends it to himself, and then he just kind of runs off. So he has the picture, and he's ready to show it to the world. The problem is that by doing that, you know, he exposes everything, and it's not a good deal. So eventually she finds out about all this, and people just in general are not, you know, the Rangers aren't happy at that point, so they know that they have to speak to him. So obviously this is all mentioned, and she even mentions the fact to him that you're not the doctor that I supported, that I related to, that made me interested in dinosaurs. You're nothing compared to that doctor. I don't see him in you. I don't see him at all, and you're not him. And she gets enraged and she gets annoyed. She's not like screaming and stuff, but she's definitely annoyed at him. So this whole entire scene happens, and it's pretty, you know, it's a serious scene, and it's done really well. So all that happens. Eventually, the Rangers continue to travel towards where they apparently have detected the plesiosaur. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention is the fact that the plesiosaurus, the sound that it made when they saw it was the sound that actually was considered a sick sound, a sound that if it's made, it means that it's ill. And the reason for that, apparently, is that certain Zords have to be near their energems, and if they're separated from them for too long, they become ill and possibly die, you know, completely get destroyed and everything, and don't exist anymore. So as a result, they have to allow the plesiosaurus to come in contact with its energem, otherwise it may not work anymore, because it needs the energy. So the Rangers are determined to do that. They eventually find a cave, which is the one that they're supposed to go to after some travels and some fighting with Fury, and eventually they end up in this cave where at one point or another the Doctor agrees to stop helping Fury and start helping the Rangers, and he runs, and at one point they go into the cave, and Dr. Runga himself gets to throw the energem inside the plesiosaurus. Now, the thing is that prior to this, he ends up finding out that apparently it's not a dinosaur, it's a Zord. And when he hears them say it's a Zord, he knows what the only people that have Zords are Rangers. So he knows about Power Rangers. So the thing is that at that point, he realizes, wait, so that means you're the Rangers. That's what you're looking for. So he realizes that, and he's willing to keep the secret. He's not going to tell anyone. He makes it pretty clear that he won't tell anyone. And so he tries to help Shelby. He tries to, do what he can, even though, he's not a Ranger. And, he throws the Zord, the Energem in, and the Plesiosaurus shoots out of the cave and starts attacking Meteor and Fury. Eventually, Meteor obviously gets destroyed, and the Magna Beam is used by Sledge, and at that point, Meteor is giant. Following this, the Plesiosaurus, the Plesiozord allows the Rangers to operate it, so we get to see the Rangers using the Plesio Charge Megazord against Meteor and beating him pretty easily, and seeing some cool moves, seeing some awesome attacks that the Plesiozord does. So after this, it's nice rapport, nice stuff, And that's about it. Now, obviously, this is a shorter review. It's also because some of the content that I would have said, I just don't remember it now because I watched it a while ago, so I don't remember it that well. It's been like more than a week since I watched it, easily, like almost 2 weeks. But I didn't get this, but I watched it after the fact. So I just wanted to just mention the fact that it was a good episode. I wish I could tell you more, guys. I know that there is more to it. It's just that I'd rather not have the screen in front of me and have it super bright due to the fact that, and just in general, I'd rather not have to rewatch it like 5 times because I really want to get episode 19 out so that when it comes time for episode 20, things are good. But as a whole, this is a great episode and series of things. One thing I will note is that apparently episode 20, we're supposed to see the Rangers go up onto Sledge's ship. Now, in my summaries video, I mentioned how I'm thinking possibly they might destroy Sledge, and during Dino Supercharge, they might. Don't hold me to this. Sledge might still exist in the next season. But what they might do is that if you're not aware, in Japan, there was a villain who led everyone that hasn't shown up yet and may or may not show up at all. But he was the leader in that show. He was known as Chaos, and the thing is that they might bring him in and make him like either the brother or the father or some other thing, because they did that with the whole entire Super Mega Force to Mega Force thing, and it might happen. Don't hold me to it, but I could see that being a possibility. They might do that just because it would then connect to the modern story, but at the same time, having Sledge there also allows them to do a lot more original content. So hopefully they choose against it, but I could totally see them going that way. But if they do it well, I wouldn't mind it. So next episode we'll see. So episode 20 will be interesting, but episode 19 I still have to do a review of, and I will definitely do it. And expect that probably in the day after this one goes up, or a day in between. It will follow or something like that. Hopefully it will be this one, and then the following day we'll get it. I can't say for a fact, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was short, really short. Typically my reviews are 17 minutes ish, but can't do much about it. That's about it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this shorter review. I know it would have been nice if I had a little bit more to say, but I can't really say much. I hope I get some images. I don't know how many images I really will be able to provide for you guys, just because I didn't have as much that probably was that I can find in regard to images that kind of connects. But I'll look, guys. I'll try to get at least a good couple of images. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time, and that's about it for me, guys. So bye bye.